A good nerve Shabbos. Hope you're having a great day. Wanted to share a short Torah thought. So, at the Chabad convention this year, they always try to announce something new, something positive. And this year they announced that there was going to be a new Chabad opening in Andorra. Andorra is a little country between Spain and France. Only has 85,000 people that live there. For every person that lives there, there's 25 tourists a year. So you can imagine that their mainstay is tourism. But during the 1967 Yom Kippur War, Six-Day War, it became a haven for many Jews who ran away from the Muslim countries. And although it's Roman Catholicism, that's the only religion, they never let them have a center there. But in 1998, they let them open a Jewish cultural place, and since then they've been gathering, but they haven't had a proper community center. My first cousin is going to open the first Chabad in Andorra. Remarkable thing, a lot of biking, nice place for the best biking trails in Europe. But that's not what I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about something else. In this week's Torah portion, I don't know if you ever looked in a real Torah, but in a real Torah we have something called a psucha and a setuma. A psucha means like this: when you finish one of the chapters, the line will be blank till the end of the line, and the new chapter will begin on the next line. That's called a psucha. It's open. It spaces out. A chapter finishes, it leaves the rest of the line blank, and then it goes to the next line. A stuma is that no, even if a chapter finishes, it'll only give you 9 spaces, and it'll begin the next chapter on the same line. You say, what's the significance? But it's interesting that this week's Torah portion of Vayetze is the only portion in the entire Torah that does not have one psucha, one open chapter where the page is blank till the end of the chapter. The only portion in the entire Bible that only has setumot, which means they're connected, they're concealed, they're not open. What's the difference, right? You might say, why? The Rebbe says something very powerful. The portion of Vayetze speaks about 20 years plus of Jacob's life when he's away from his father. The portion begins Vayetze Yaakov Be'ersheva. Jacob leaves his father's home in Beersheba, Vayelech Harana, and he goes to Mesopotamia, to modern-day Iraq, away from his family, into some sort of exile. And in that disconnect, Jacob remains true to his values, to his parents, to monotheism, to morality that Isaac and Rebekah taught him, that Abraham and Sarah taught them. And the question is how? 22 years living in a country that's foreign, in exile, away from your family, away from everything you've been guided and taught your whole life? How did he do it? And the Rebbe says the answer is in exactly that idea, that all the portions are setumot, they're closed. There's no open parshiot in the portion of Vayetze. Because the message that the Torah is giving us is that Jacob left no room between him and his parents. His connection, his commitment to their values, to the values of Judaism, was so strong that even though he was far away in exile, the whole portion is setumot. There's no space between Jacob and Isaac. There's no difference. As we say back to Abraham, Vayelchu shneim yachdav, they walked together hand in hand. That's how it was with Jacob, and that's how it was with his father Isaac. You think about a new Chabad rabbi in Andorra, far away from everything. No kosher stores, no kosher schools. His kids will have to go to online school. How do Chabad rabbis do it? How do they survive in Mauritius, in Siberia, in Turkey, in Stockholm, wherever they may be, so far away from Jewish values? And the answer that Rebbe gives is because when you're so connected, when there's no space between you and the values that the Rebbe teaches us, that Chassidism teaches us, you're able to survive anywhere. They say the story that one guy asked the Rebbe once. He said, listen, you send your Chabad rabbis all over, and Rebbitzins, they go across the world to places that have no Judaism. How are they supposed to survive? How are they supposed to stay connected to their Judaism? And he said a question, he said, imagine you take a hot samovar. Samovar is an urn, right? and you put it into a cold bathtub, a day, a week, a month, what's going to happen? At the end of the day, the samovar, the urn will get cold. You can't keep the water hot. So he was trying to use that as a metaphor and saying, how could you expect a Chabad rabbi to be so far away from their source and to stay connected? And the Rebbe smiled and he said, that's all true when the samovar, when the urn is not plugged in. But if the samovar is plugged in, if it's connected to its source, then not only does the samovar stay warm, but it'll also warm up the other waters. And that's really the source and the essence of what makes a Chabad rabbi what they are. What really we all have to be. We have to be connected to our source, to the values of Torah, of Judaism that we were taught. And when you're connected and inspired and warm, then not only will you stay warm, but you'll warm those around you and have an impact on them. Have a great and awesome Shabbat.